My mom lied to me my entire life about Dad, and I can't even look or talk to her anymore. My entire life, it was just me and my mom. My dad was never in my life. My entire life, my mom and her whole family told me that my dad was a deadbeat piece of shit who ran away after my mom got pregnant with me. They talked crap about him constantly and made him seem like the absolute worst person ever. I believed them because he was never in my life. But a few months ago, I got really curious. I've been curious about my dad for a few years now, but honestly, after I saw a TikTok about someone in the same situation, I got serious about finding him. I asked my mom for his identity, and it was really easy to find him on Facebook. He looked like an older version of me. It was so weird. He's a lawyer, and he's married with 4 kids who are all younger than me. It took me a few days, but I finally messaged him. I sent a long message introducing myself, told him who my mom is, and said that I was his son. About half an hour later, he responded, and he was actually so excited. He asked to FaceTime me, and I accepted. He started crying when he saw me, his face completely red. I asked if he knew about me, and he said my mom told him she miscarried me. They were together when she got pregnant with me, and although they had many issues, he wanted to stay because of me. He said she was toxic, and so was her family. He kept crying and apologizing for not being in my life, repeating that he thought I did make it. He even said how much I look like him at my age and asked to meet me in person. When we did meet, he hugged me so tight I almost choked. He's now obsessed with me, and honestly, I am with him too. He introduced me to his family and friends and loves introducing me as his boy. He even paid off all my student loans without me asking. He just asked if I had any and then paid them all off. He said he's saving for all his kids, so it's only fair he did it for me too. I love him so freaking much already, and I hate that I missed out on him my entire life. He even took me last minute on his family's holiday vacation over Christmas. He talks to me every day now, even though he's a lawyer and busy as heck. He still makes time for me daily. Ever since I met him, I've been avoiding my mom. I honestly hate her for depriving me of him my entire life and lying about him the whole time. We've had many issues recently, and this was the last straw. She keeps calling and trying to talk to me, but I don't answer. I don't want to talk to her anymore. She robbed me of an entire lifetime with my dad. Now for the comments. How old are you? You still got a happy ending though. Now you can focus on building a new happy life with your dad in it. It's going to be great. I'm 23. I hope so. What was her reaction when you told her you were aware she had been lying about your dad? She gaslighted me that she knew better, and that it was for the better. Sounds like a narcissist. She is a huge narcissist. I fail to see why you want to keep her around. Sure, she's your mom, but she kept you from a dad who loves you completely. So many people would kill for that reaction from an estranged parent. Your mom is evil for that. Younger me dreamed of his reaction. Holy crap, I needed this. I'm somewhat in your dad's position. I don't have the resources to fight my ex, and she doesn't want me in my daughter's life. I accept that she may hate me and not want anything to do with me, but I'll take whatever hope I can get. I am so sorry, brother. As a kid who didn't know any better, I thought my dad was worse than the devil because I believed he didn't care about me. Your daughter would probably feel the same, but I hope that when she grows up, she learns the truth. Next story. We just found out my husband has a daughter who we didn't know about, and I can't be more excited. I've been with my husband for 13 years now, and we have 3 boys together whom I love more than anything. My husband has never cheated on me, and I never worried about him. He's a homebody, and he's always trusted me with his phone and everything else. He's a great husband and an even better father to our kids, and I feel blessed to have him in my life. A few weeks ago, my husband received a message on Facebook from a teenage girl. She introduced herself as his daughter. He had no clue about her, and when she told him who her mom was, he immediately recognized the name. They dated for a couple of months 17 years ago, so it made sense to him. She looks exactly like my husband. Apparently, her mom died a few years ago, and she's been living with her uncle ever since. She said she's really been wanting to have a relationship with her dad and get to know him for a while now, but she was scared and shy. and finally worked up the courage to reach out. The girl is now 16, and she's exactly how I imagined a daughter with him would look. She's so pretty and precious. He told her about me and our kids and invited her over to our house. She and her uncle live half an hour away from us. 2 weeks ago, she came with her uncle, and we met her. She was just as pretty in real life and very shy. We sat and talked for hours. She met our kids, and my husband hugged and kissed her, and she let me hug her too. She said she liked it, and we've been talking to her every day since. My husband loves her and wants her to move in, and I'd honestly love that too. I absolutely love kids, and I've always wanted a daughter. I know she isn't my daughter technically, but I'd love her like one if she lets me. She's been through so much already at such a young age, and it's unfair. I know my husband would be a great girl dad to her. It honestly just makes me sad that we didn't find out about her sooner. I'm so excited for whatever comes next. I've always been a reader of this subreddit, and I finally feel like I have a good thing to post about. Something to give hope that there's still some good in the world. It's nice this isn't a tragic story. Thank you for the break in tragic stories. I mean, it's tragic for the girl. Poor girl lost her mom so young, the only parent she knew her whole life. But now she has us, and I hope that helps her somehow. It's too bad that you all are only recently finding out about her. Do you know why the mom, his ex, never reached out to him? No, according to the girl, her mom only told her about his identity shortly before she died, but she never said why she didn't tell him. I don't know, maybe he was a different guy back then, but the man I know would have taken her in with open arms. Thank you for being so supportive in this situation. No matter what comes next, whether she moves in or stays with her uncle, I'm sure he's a great guy, it sounds like she has a great support system in place. Only advice, continue to honor her biological mom. It doesn't sound like you wouldn't. Just a reminder. Damn, your husband is lucky to have you. Congrats on the new addition. I love this story. I grew up with a step monster. I'd rather burn in hell than be that for someone else. And I won't ever force anything on her. My step monster tried doing that as well. Really pleased for you all, but don't have her move in too quickly. This is a massive change in her life and yours too. You have other children to think about too. Let it happen in good time. Don't rush it. We know that. She's not moving anytime soon, but we'd love for it to happen eventually. Next story. My mom cut off my teenage siblings because our dad asked them not to say anything about him cheating. This whole situation is honestly wild, and I, 22 female, still feel like I'm processing it in real time. My dad, 45 male, has apparently been cheating on my mom for some time. I don't know exactly how long it's been going on or how many people were involved, but I do know about at least one situation that feels especially messed up. My little brothers, 16 and 13, knew about it. My dad told them not to say anything and they kept quiet. From what they've told me, they knew she was a close female friend of our dad's, but they claimed they didn't understand that it was an ongoing affair. Whether that's completely true or not, I honestly don't know. What I do know is that they are still kids, and they were put in an impossible position by an adult who should have protected them, instead of using them to cover his own behavior. My mom understandably is furious. She found out and completely exploded. She called my brothers liars and cowards to their faces, and then told them she wanted nothing to do with them. I understand where her anger is coming from. I really do. I'm angry too, at my dad, and if I'm being honest, part of me is angry at my brothers as well. It hurts to think they knew something this big and didn't say anything. But at the same time, I know they were scared. They were afraid of going against our dad and blowing up the family. They didn't have the power or emotional maturity to handle something like this, and I don't think it's fair that they're being treated like equal participants in his betrayal. They didn't cheat. They didn't manipulate anyone. They were just kids trying to survive a situation they never should have been dragged into. Now they're devastated. What my mom said really hurt them, and I hate that they're carrying that pain on top of everything else. My mom is very stubborn and prideful, and I don't even know where to begin with helping her see that her anger is being misplaced. At the same time, I feel stuck because this shouldn't be my responsibility. I didn't do anything wrong. The only person who deserves to be shunned here is my dad. He's the one who cheated, lied, and involved his own children in keeping secrets for him. I don't know if he thought this was some kind of boys will be boys situation, but it was selfish, manipulative, and incredibly damaging. I just want advice on how to support my brothers and, if possible, help my mom direct her anger where it actually belongs without completely destroying her relationship with her kids in the process. I'd prioritize your brothers. They're kids, and they need to know that someone in this family has their back, as well as which behaviors on both sides are right and wrong. Let's look at the facts. Your mom needs to express her anger. Your dad will fight back, but the boys won't, and no one is going to stand up for them, so she can say whatever she wants to the boys. We need to figure out whether your mom's behavior is a path of least resistance situation, where she's only going after the boys instead of your dad, or whether she's gone nuclear on your dad as well, and the boys are just collateral damage. Has she said the same things to your dad? That's the thing. Yeah, she was mad at my dad, but it seems like she's directing most of her venom toward my brothers. So it makes me feel like she already knew about my dad's cheating ways, but she's in her feelings because she thinks my brothers betrayed her. That's just me assuming though. What has your dad said about it all? Does he feel even remotely guilty? Has he apologized to your brothers for putting them in that position? Has he stepped up to support them? Honestly, my dad is a POS, and I barely talked to him even before this. My youngest brother told me our dad yelled at him for asking why he told them to lie and why he didn't tell the truth. My mom has let him play dictator over the household since I was born, in a what he says goes kind of way, so he's entitled and thinks his doesn't stink. I don't think he's even apologized to my mom. I was in a similar position to your brothers at their age. It's far more pressure than a teenager should have to deal with. My mother continued to play the victim until after my father's funeral. They stayed together. To this day, she has not accepted that she took a terrible situation and made it infinitely worse. Our relationship will never recover. I would focus more on providing care to your brothers. If you can model healthy adult behavior, hopefully she will follow suit once she calms down. If not, you need to be clear that her reaction to her husband is one thing, but her treatment of your siblings is another and is not acceptable, at least for their sake. You don't want them to grow up believing her narrative that they are horrible people who ruined everything. My ex did this many years ago. He took them along on dates. Oh, look who's here. Let's all sit together. And told my kids not to mention it because it would upset me. I was at school. Of course they believed him. He was their father, and they never thought he would lie to them. When they found out the truth, they hated their dad, and there was a lot of therapy needed because they felt complicit, which they were not. I was furious at him for putting them in that situation. I truly thought my oldest was going to harm himself. I repeatedly told them that this was not their fault, and that their dad made incredibly bad decisions based on his own shortcomings as a human being, but that I loved them and supported them through the therapy and work they needed. He continued to set them up to cover his lies, even after we divorced. The older ones, sons, have a relationship with him now, which I supported, but there was over a decade of anger and distrust. They still don't respect him. They know who he is. A parent should never teach a child to lie, ever. This mother needs to screw her head on straight and see the damage she's doing to her boys, who are already traumatized by all of this. Last story. I helped a lady at the gym gain confidence, and it resulted in her getting a divorce. So, over the past few months, I've been doing a specific Pilates class 3 times a week. In this class, I met a woman who initially showed up very timid, kind of shy, and dressed in lots of layers, almost deliberately trying to stay fully covered. There's nothing wrong with that, but in a high-intensity class, it can be tough. Over time, I gradually started saying hi to her, working out side by side, and as the weeks went on, I began to learn more about her. It turns out she was a married woman with 3 kids, and her husband was a stay-at-home gamer. He brought in no income and apparently always told her that her clothes were getting tight and that she should consider hitting the gym more often. I never tried to dig into it, but she vented about it frequently. As time went on, she began coming into class with a smile on her face. She started dressing more confidently, and you could just tell that she was beginning to find herself. It was really nice to see. Well, last week she came in, we did the class, and everything went well. Afterwards, she said, "Hey, so I did something crazy." When I asked her what she did, she said, "I finally decided to leave him. And I wanted to thank you for helping me find myself again and for being kind to me. It helped me learn my worth and gave me the courage to stand up for myself and take care of me for a change." I honestly didn't realize I had made such an impact, which on one hand is beautiful, but on the other hand makes me feel like I caused a divorce. At the same time, though, it was really her husband who caused the divorce. I just like to think I helped someone understand their true worth. Sometimes a person just needs a bit of positivity and faith in humanity and in themselves to find the courage to do what they're afraid of. Preach! You didn't cause the divorce, dude. The husband did. Imagine being a stay-at-home gamer bringing in no income while your wife works her butt off to raise you, the gamer, kids, has to work to pay the bills, and then still having the audacity to tell her your clothes are too tight. She just needed to hear someone be nice to her after all that time, and I guarantee it was a while with those comments. Yeah, it's still a crazy feeling though. I am happy for her and it's great to see someone change for the better. Understandable. I can see why it feels that way given how it went down, but giving someone confidence and the power to stand up for themselves doesn't make you responsible for the choices they make. If anything, you did her a huge favor. I'd confidently bet she wasn't happy in that relationship and is protecting her peace as a result. This is true. Thanks for talking through it with me. This sort of happened to me. I started working for this absolute boss of a woman as her second in command. Over time, she opened up about the frustrations in her marriage, and I'd inadvertently react with shock. For example, she mentioned that her husband was unemployed and not actively looking for work, but then she'd complain about the cost of full-time childcare. My immediate response was, "Hang on, if your husband isn't working, why isn't he caring for your kid?" Apparently, the straw that broke the camel's back was when she came to my house to collaborate on a project. We lived closer to each other than the office and were both scheduled to work from home that day. My husband, also working from home, popped his head in to offer us coffee and brought a plate of snacks. She was shocked that he was so caring and supportive, even though he was just being a basic, polite host. It took her about 18 months, but she finally kicked her husband to the curb last year. Now she's with an amazing guy who treats her like the absolute queen she is. I'm so happy for her.